another episode of the Auburn-Opelika Rider Spotlight. I'm Ben Vanslander with Trek of Auburn, and we're here with Jackie Horschel. Today, we're in this series through the summer, we're trying to get more of the students that are going to be going off to college. So first off, congratulations on graduating from Auburn High School.
Thank you.
And also being accepted to Auburn for the fall term. So congratulations with that.
I got a scholarship from Shred for Sloan. They're an organization. Sloan was a young kid who ended up passing early in life, and so his family and kind of like some of his friends created Shred for Sloan to kind of spread awareness for cycling accidents. And every year they host a race, and the money from that race is used to fund the next race and also scholarships to students who are going into college.
Okay, so Jackie, what got you into cycling in general?
So it's a funny story.
Okay.
I got into cycling because we moved here in 2016, so we were kind of the new crew, and I remember riding around the block in Fort Benning with a bunch of kids because it was safe, because it was literally just a bunch of housing, military housing.
Okay.
But we moved here, and my brothers are both much older than me, so they're in high school. I was in 5th grade, and my brother Tyler actually ended up having a crush on this girl who was at the time a varsity racer for NICA. And so him kind of like trying to, get to know her, she was like, well, you should come out and ride. And at the time, we didn't really know about mountain biking, so we had just like your basic mongoose bikes that were way too small, because you don't really know the dimensions until you start getting into mountain biking.
Sure.
But he went out with her, he came back and he was like, oh my gosh, and he like drug our whole family out because he was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
You are a mountain bike racer. You do other events too outside of ACA or NICA, what you did before. So you hit other races too with other organizations. So can you name a couple that you've done or that or have coming up?
Yeah, so a couple of days ago I actually did Marathon Nationals. Didn't get to finish because of some mechanical issues.
Yeah, so what happened there? What happened in your race?
So at the time I thought I just flatted, but I actually blew my rim out.
Oh, okay. Talking about the Marathon Nationals and you racing, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, and if you're comfortable talking about it, is your situation with your eye.
Yeah.
And what that does for your riding and kind of what you're dealing with there.
So it's cool that you mentioned that, because my bike is almost completely custom to help deal with the fact that I don't have depth perception. So basically I got my eye removed, but before that I already couldn't see. So I already kind of like had to start figuring out what can we do to make the trails like without perception, how can we make them easier to ride, kind of?
Sure.
So we started with a Roscoe. We had the big plus 27.5 plus size tires, but eventually, if I was going to be competitive, we would need to upgrade. So we had to go to full suspension, and we run it pretty loose. So if I hit literally anything, it's like supposed to make sure that I can recover from it pretty quick.
Okay, so we talked about you going to Auburn in the fall, but you're also going to be riding for the Auburn Flyers.
Yes.
And what disciplines are you going to do with them? Is it strictly mountain biking, or is there anything else you're going to be doing?
So for my safety and everybody's safety, I'm probably going to stick to certain disciplines of riding, because I have a lot of collegiate friends who do all of the different disciplines like road cycling, short track, etc. And you're a lot closer to people, and it's not really safe for me to be close to people. So kind of like just sticking to maybe branching out to dual slalom, maybe branching out to enduro.
One. Who's faster, you or your dad? Okay. Hopefully he doesn't see this, but he's gonna. On your mountain bike, cable shifting or electronic shifting?
Electronic.
Okay. Full suspension or hardtail?
Full suspension.
Full suspension. Another one, big fat gnarly tires or more cross-country oriented tires? Smaller maybe?
A mix.
Mix, depending on what you're riding? Why do you ride? Why do you do the riding that you do?
Due to a lot of my genetic disorders, I'm limited in what I can do, and I really hate swimming.
So we have a great mountain bike cycling community here, backed by camp, and they have they do a Tuesday night social ride, the cookout, but you're also a part of that.
Yeah.
So what's your involvement with camp now?
So I'm the youngest member on camp, and I do a lot of trail work. I'm on the trail committee. And so basically what that entails is I go out to the trail. Yesterday, I was out there for 2 hours just picking up trash from Marathon Nationals.
Sometimes I don't know if people understand how much work goes into what you guys do out there as a crew, keeping those trails in good shape. It's a lot of work. So this is a part of this segment where we want to talk about the rider's bike. We like them to bring in their favorite bike or what they're using or racing, and we want to know a little bit about it. So Jackie, tell us about your bike.
All right, so this is a setup. We got full suspension, as mentioned previously. I've got extra travel in the front to compensate for what I can't really see, the axis shifting, but what's kind of an important detail is I basically have an enduro tire in the front to kind of like catch anything. It's like, so if I'm about to wreck, sometimes the side knobs, they'll catch me real quick and I will almost fall, but then just keep going. So these are the XR4s and then the XR3s for less rolling resistance. And
for those that don't know, when you talk about rolling resistance, like your front tire, when you say an enduro, so you mean like bigger knobs, right?
Yeah.
Like a more aggressive tire.
Yeah.
And then in the rear, you see that it's a little less than that, faster rolling, right?
Yeah.
So you prefer to have that bite for your depth and making sure it helps you bite that tire in if it's jumping.
Yeah.
Understood. What model bike is this?
So this is the 9.8, I believe.
Okay, and it's the Top Fuel.
Yep, Top Fuel 9.8. But I get asked all the time, oh, is that the new Top Fuel? And it's like, no. My dad just upgraded it, so it basically is, but the frame is 4 years old, so.
But you have nice components. Your dad did a good job with that.
Yeah.
A unique feature about your bike that I noticed, and I'm glad you brought up, were your pedals. Tell us a little bit about your pedals. They're not your normal looking standard flat pedal.
Yeah, so the magnet pedals are basically for if you're a little scared of trying clipless, which are where you put your foot in the bike on the pedals. But if you want to prevent, like when you wreck, prevent your bike getting stuck to you, these are kind of like that in between where your feet, depending on the magnet you pick, there's different weights. So I have like a 250-pound person weight.
Okay, so you want your feet to stay on there.
Yeah, my feet
so.
are on there.
But you can, so with the magnet strength, you can pick how easy your foot can come off. So if you get in trouble, you can just pop them off.
Yep.
Interesting. I noticed some really nice cranks and
I
cassette.
got some bling. You're not gonna beat this bling.
Yeah, it's set up very nice. And you take good care of your bike.
Yeah. I don't crack the frame, but I crack the ribs.
There's worse things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a great feature. Once again, thank you everyone that is watching this or is taking the time to look at this. It's a great opportunity for us to get to know not only our local riders that are here year round, but also our athletes and riders that are going to be going to college. So Jackie, thanks for coming on, bringing your bike and taking the time to talk with us. And thanks again for tuning in, and we'll have another episode next month.